Hey YouTube, welcome to Trevor's Vinyl World. I got the Kiss shirt on today. Check that out. I like the arm. Yeah, Kiss Army. Um, we're gonna time travel back to about 1984 for a moment, and I was in kindergarten, and my dad had a video store that he opened, and at the time, my favorite band was actually Styx. It sounds like a Adam Sandler joke, but it's actually very true. They had a song called "Mr. Roboto," and when you're a 5 year old kid hanging out at a video store, and your dad gives you a tripod video camera, and you're gonna make ninja movies. I mean, that was my first vision in life. Was I am gonna be a producer. I'm going to star in them. I am going to make ninja movies. Not karate movies, ninja movies. I was all about Revenge of the Ninja and all the ninja movies. Shout out Sho Kazuki. I will definitely do a video on you one day. But anyways, um, that song was like the song that I would play and then do my martial arts. When nobody was in the store, I was allowed to record. And back then, like my dad wasn't getting a lot of customers his first year in operation, so I had a lot of time to film my ninja movies. Yikes. Anyways, then in 1985, I saw a VHS tape called Kiss Animalize, and it was basically a live concert of, or footage of a live concert of theirs that was taped in Detroit. Um, and I just was like floored. I had never seen anything like that. I mean, obviously, I was young. Um, I didn't know about any other real bands at the time, but I was just so blown away. And this was actually when they're already with no makeup. So my first experience with Kiss uh, was with no makeup. It wasn't until years later that I realized that in the 70s, like they've been around since 1973, and the first 10 years they were always, in makeup, and they each had like a comic book character, that they were portraying. Um, and I didn't know any of that. There was no internet, there was no research done. So when I started listening to them in 1985, I was just taking what was given in front of me. And I just fell in love with the band. And my favorite member is actually Eric Carr. Rest in peace, Eric Carr. He died. He passed away back in 1991 from a rare form of heart cancer. And then I know in 2025 there was news that the longtime guitarist, founding member Ace Frehley passed away in 2025. Um, so it's I think Kiss finally hung it up around 2023. So they basically were around for 50 years. I mean, that's just unbelievable. And I know a lot of people kind of rack on them about their sellouts, or they just were all about money. And it's like people don't realize how long they've been around. And I think the first 20 years it was more about the music. And for people like me, you can't really explain it. There's certain bands that if you mention them, my eyes brighten up, and they just make me smile. And I always liked Paul Stanley. A lot of people don't know this, but he was born, or basically he was always pretty much handicapped, as far as he only really had one ear. I didn't know that, but basically, he overcame a lot of um, you know things that would hold a regular person back. And I just always liked Kiss. I always liked how weird and scary Gene Simmons was. And but anyways, I just want to give them some flowers. And I couldn't, I just felt I hadn't talked about them in a while. So, but these are my top 20, and they have so many records and so many good songs. Um, they are not a heavy metal band, and they are also not a easy listening band. They're sort of, I kind of explain to some people that don't listen to them. They're kind of like a really, um, almost like a more aggressive version of the Rolling Stones. There's a lot of funk and rhythm in their songs, but they kind of lean to heavy metal, if that makes sense. But anyways, I just wanted to shout out some of their, my favorite songs of theirs. So some honorable mentions that I'm gonna mention real quick. They had a song called "Forever" that I really liked. It didn't make my top 20. "Tears Are Falling." That did not make my top 20, but it was a really good song. They have a song called "Shock Me" that is an honorable mention. And then they have a song that Eric Carr made, and he hates the way that Paul Stanley delivered it, um, because Paul Stanley did like a spoken word, almost sounds like he's rapping. And the song is "All Hell's Breaking Loose." And if you want to watch a funny video, it's actually a really cool, funny video. It's one of my favorites, but like at the beginning, Paul Stanley is doing like this weird spoken word where he's like, a street hustler comes up to me and I'm walking down the street and he looks me up and he looks me down and he says, "Hey man, what be this and what be that and why you gotta look like that?" And Paul Stanley says something weird like, "I am cool, I am the breeze." And then they go into this song, and the song is actually kind of cool. It's like, "All hell's breaking loose. Hey, hey, have you read the news?" So I really liked the song. It just didn't make my top 20. So those are honorable mentions. Oh, and also Domino. That was off their Revenge album. I always kind of liked that one. And I kind of liked it because by then it was like Kiss was kind of, you know, not as popular. And it was kind of cool that they came out like with a really kick ass album. So coming in at number 20, we are going to go with "Do You Love Me." Coming in at number 19, "Heaven's on Fire." I love this song. I wish I could put it higher on the list, but they just have so many good songs that "Heaven's on Fire" is just a really good song. 18, "I Was Made for Loving You, Baby," is number 18. 17, "Who Wants to Be Lonely?" Who wants to be lonely? That's man, these are all good. 16 is the really slowed down Beth. It's just such an original idea that you can't go home because the band is going late. And he's like, "Beth, what can I do?" It's just such a sweet song. 15, "Nowhere to Run." 14, "Crazy, Crazy, Crazy Nights" from 1987. 13, "Creatures of the Night," like the shirt I got on, Creatures of the Night album. 12, "I Love It Loud." Hey, yeah. Hey, man, these are so good. 11, in honor of the ladies of the night, "Black Diamond." Number 10, "Rocket Ride" off Alive 2. Ace Frehley is just amazing on this. Number 9, I'm going with "Parasite." Number 8, "Hotter Than Hell." Number 7, "Lick It Up." Uh, I love what's his name? Vinnie Vincent. Oh, I wish he would have been in Kiss a lot longer. I really do. 6, "Strutter." 5, "God of Thunder." 4, "Deuce." 3, "Cold Gin." 2, "Rock and Roll All Night." And number 1, "Detroit Rock City." Oh, I got through them. Everyone, subscribe to the channel. Talk to you later. Bye.